especially for peanut farmers. I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
This Memorial Day, the Voice of Ocala will bring you a special presentation of Family Matters with board-certified psychiatrist Dr. Marsha Morris. We'll be celebrating Memorial Day with our families, giving thanks to those men and women of our armed forces who have sacrificed for our freedom.
Take a deep breath. We tend to hyperventilate as we're rushing around in our lives. We need to slow down when we're feeling stressed.
That's Family Matters with Dr. Marsha Morris this Memorial Day holiday on WOCA The Source.
All right, thank you. 23 minutes after 9 o'clock. Beautiful looking Memorial Day. Hope you're doing well. I've got some stuff here to bring Memorial Day to you through your radio.
Okay.
So let's just do that. I wanted to tell you before we get to the bottom of the hour. Bottom of the hour, I've got for a full hour from 9:30 till 10, and Joe Martone said he was going to join us, which is good.
Nice.
I wanted to play some sound bites that I have from some people who remembered people who they loved who are no longer here. In some cases, they died in battle. In other cases, they died. They had a long life, actually, and but are remembered today on Memorial Day. But I wanted to tell you part of World War II that came uneasily close to home, meaning Florida. It was the German U-boat. I'm sure you've heard of the German U-boat, but maybe you never heard of the Merchant Marine being the unsung hero of the ordeal we had to put up with the German U-boat.
No.
So let me tell you about this. The German U-boat once prowled the Gulf of Mexico. They sunk 56 ships. 56 ships.
Wow.
Off the coast of Florida. 2 of the ships that sank during the war were torpedoed less than 100 miles from Marco Island, and the story that follows illustrates both sides of the conflict from above and below the water. By 1942, America was mobilizing fast and gearing up for the war against the Japanese. But the coastal defenses of the eastern seaboard and the Gulf of Mexico were not prepared for the long-range U-boat and a backyard naval war with Germany.
Wow.
How many of you know this happened right there off the Gulf? On June 10th, 1942, Capitan Lieutenant Horst Uphoff and his crew of 35 German submariners cast off the lines of the U-84 under the heavily fortified submarine pens in Brest, France. The U-boat commander and his veteran crew were on their 6th patrol bound for the Atlantic Ocean and ultimately the Gulf of Mexico.
Gosh.
After participating in a successful Wolfpack attack, a coordinated assault with several other German submarines against an Allied convoy, Uphoff and the crew of the U-84 cruised unchallenged into the old Bahama Channel.
Oh, my.
Knowing that the Gulf of Mexico and the waters between Florida and Cuba were heavily traveled shipping routes for the enemies of Germany, Uphoff ordered his Type 7B submarine with the long-range fuel tanks to prowl north along the southwest Florida coast just to the west of Everglades City.
Oh, my.
July 18th, 1942 was the last day afloat for the Honduran registered Baja California. The steam-powered freighter was a 257-foot Norwegian ship built in 1914 and commanded by Aji Christensen. There were 32 crew members and 5 armed guards aboard as the ship sailed from New Orleans, and with the weather fair and calm, she parted the southern Gulf waters headed for Guatemala. Shortly after dawn on July 19th of 1942, Uphoff and the submerged U-84 torpedoed the Baja California, steaming alone on a southerly heading, and brought World War II to within 55 miles of Marco Island.
Wow. How scary is that?
Captain Christensen's Baja California and her cargo of Willis Jeeps, glassware, and war materials now sits 115 feet below the water, 55 miles west of Marco Island. It's still there.
Oh, my.
It's still there.
Wow.
The first torpedo slammed into the old freighter's port bow, and the second exploded near the chief engineer's quarters. The ship instantly began to list as Christensen ordered the crew to abandon ship. Within 10 minutes, the surviving crew had rallied to lower lifeboats and watched in shock as the Baja California slipped beneath the calm Gulf waters, where it remains today.
My gosh.
3 of the ship's company was killed when the torpedoes exploded and 10 others injured. The survivors abandoned ship on 1 lifeboat and 2 rafts and were rescued the following day under a broiling summer sun by a Cuban fishing schooner bound for Havana.
Gosh.
Uphoff and the officers of the U-84 watched from a distance as the freighter sank and the crew of the Baja California scrambled aboard their lifeboats. There was no further hostile action taken toward Christensen and the stranded survivors of the Baja California.
Oh, my gosh.
56 ships. 56 ships sank in the Gulf of Mexico in 1942, compared with only 1 U-boat.
Unbelievable.
The U-166 was sunk by depth charges 30 miles from the entrance to the Mississippi River. 30 miles
Gosh.
from the Mississippi River.
Wow.
In no other body of water did the German U-boats have more short-term success than in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
With the success of the U-boats obvious, the Gulf Sea Frontier Task Forces ordered coastal defenses strengthened and documented vessels conscripted and placed into submarine patrol service. The situation was so desperate that Vice Admiral Russell Wash, Commandant of the Coast Guard, consulted with various yachting organizations to utilize small armed boats as submarine observation craft.
Wow.
In Key West, Ernest Hemingway, the author, obtained machine guns, hand grenades, and bazookas for his personal yacht.
Oh, geez.
Isn't that amazing?
Equipped.
As captain, he routinely went on patrol, but only once saw a U-boat from a distance before the submarine submerged.
Wow.
How about that? Isn't that an amazing story?
That is a super amazing story.
And I'll tell you on the other side something about the Merchant Marines as we begin our 1 hour special here on WOCA.
Yeah, Al was a Merchant Marine. He was proud of it.
There you go.
My mother's Al.
There you go. Robin's stepdad is who you're referring to, just so people know who you're talking about. All right, we'll take a little break. We've got a Memorial Day special coming up. Joe Martone said he would join us for this. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Houston police still seeking answers after a random shooting at an auto detail shop that left 2 dead, including the alleged gunman.
When this came out as a shooting in progress, obviously we understand that it's a dangerous scenario. But these officers, the training kicked in. They did what they had to do.
Interim Police Chief Martha Montalvo. 2 cops and 3 civilians also wounded. Weekend storms in Texas have left 6 people dead. 9 were rescued from the flooding northwest of San Antonio. He was a 61-1 shot. 24-year-old California rookie Alexander Rossi wins the 100th Indianapolis 500.
I'm still processing this whole thing, but, to do it on the 100th running, to do it as an American, and to show that, a young American talent is on the rise and is competing in IndyCar is a great honor.
Colombian Carlos Munoz was second, giving Andretti Autosports a 1-2 finish. Fox News, we report, you decide.
A Napa guy knows not to judge a man by his car's multicolor paint job or absence of modern gadgetry. Who cares if it's technically old enough to vote and the windows are powered by the strength of your left arm? Your monthly payment is $0. And it'll stay that way. Because with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. She may not be pretty, but she's all yours. That's Napa know-how.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I was afraid my grill wasn't going to make it through the summer. Frank needed a new grill, so I showed him our entire line, including the Weber Genesis and Spirit lines.
Ace is the place that brings you the best names in grills. Literally, brings it to your house after we assemble it for you.
Now through Memorial Day, get free assembly and delivery when you buy any grill $3.99 and up, including Weber. Offer valid through May 30th. Free local assembly and delivery must be scheduled with participating Ace store. Store stock only. See store for details.
Hi, this is Brad. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a pilot's license. This will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484.
At Palm Garden of Ocala, we ask all Americans to take a moment from their day of leisure to reflect on the brave sacrifices of those who have given their lives for this great nation. For those veterans who stay with